The other morning I was going to 7-Eleven. I was picking up a hot dog. And for those of you who don't know, on DoorDash, you can actually place an order for pickup, so not to have it delivered to your house. You can go there in person and not pay the delivery fees. So I had arrived at the 7-Eleven and I had grabbed a handful of condiments for the hot dog, some mustard and some ketchup. And then I'd gone up to the cash register. A young woman was working there, probably in her early to mid 20s. And she says, "Who is this for?" Essentially, who are the condiments for? I just said, "Oh, I ordered a hot dog. And I just wanted to take the condiments with me." And she's like, "No, you put it back. You put it back. I have them in the bag." And seeing when she already put them in the bag, she probably thought that I was the delivery driver, right? Thinking that I was going to take the condiments for myself. And I showed her the name and explained to her that I'm here to pick up my order. And I just wanted some extra ketchup and mustard. Keep in mind, it's for free. They have a whole pile of stuff right there. What is each one of those things worth? Like 1 cent? But she very rudely, again, she was saying this with a very rude tone, pointing at me, saying to put them back, essentially insinuating that I'm trying to take advantage of her or steal whatever it is. Thinking I was some DoorDash delivery driver, so I was below her, whatever she was going through her head. And she finally calmed down, understanding that that was my order to pick up. And explained that she had already put some in the bag. I told her, "No, I want more condiments. It's complimentary." She finally calmed down. And if this was me a number of years ago, I probably would have somewhat lost my temper, to be completely honest, because I just was someone which people should not tolerate disrespect, whether it's from men or women, which is a problem I see too. A lot of men will not tolerate disrespect from other men, but they'll tolerate it from women in their relationships. Nonetheless, though, I had told her after calmly, which I thought was really the best thing I could do, to not be so rude. And she kind of just rolled her eyes and was like, "Whatever." And then I got to thinking to myself in the car on the way home, never have I seen a point in my life where people, but especially women under the age of 30, are so entitled and have this kind of God complex, do not know how to treat one another, do not know how to treat people. They've been so spoiled, their dopamine receptors have been so fried by the constant validation that every single person now, every single one of them, for the most part, a lot of them, seem to have some form of a God complex. It's bad enough where anyone right now can go on social media, make an account, buy a few thousand followers, buy a blue check mark, post a bunch of pictures, buy a bunch of likes, and act like you're some celebrity. Act like you're on top of the world. And here's my thing. Even if it was legit, if someone really had that kind of influence, if someone really had that kind of social media presence, sounds ridiculous, but whatever you want to call it, you should still remain humble, because understand something. Social media status means nothing. Everything on social media is fake. I don't care what anyone says, it's fake. And anyone who's going to be around you for some sort of social media, this and that, they're the wrong people. They're fake as well. Because the second that kind of stuff goes away, and this goes for money, whatever it might be, the second that kind of stuff goes away, they're going to be gone. They're not going to be in your life. But to my point, never have I seen women acting this way, being so quick to dismiss men if they don't check every single box. And that's even for men that would be considered Chad, whatever you want to call it. I've heard women say things in the line of, if you're close with your mother, that's a red flag or that's weird. Which, if a girl says anything like that, it's over. That right there is telling you that she has no appreciation or understanding for the fundamental or the concept of family to begin with. No sense of loyalty. And also tells you she probably had a bad relationship or disdain towards her parents, which I've seen that as well. Pretty much every girl like that has turned out to have a bunch of red flags, from what I've heard from friends and all different kinds of stuff. But my point being is that this sense of entitlement, the lack of respect, and so quick to dismiss not only men, but good, decent men most of the time, good, decent men who are stoic, who are masculine, who would love to take these girls out on dates, build something serious, but they rather be with a toxic guy, or they rather have a bunch of guys for different purposes. I'm seeing a lot of women now wanting open relationships and proud of that idea. I mean, that's backwards. That there's such a need for validation from different people. That's how fried a lot of women's dopamine receptors have become. They're not okay with just one partner, boyfriend, whatever you want to call it. They need the constant attention and validation from other people. And ultimately, that's all dating apps are. That's all social media is. Validation. And that's why they're so dismissive of a lot of the people that are good, genuine people, because they see them as a social media like. They see them as a dating app DM. They see them as something disposable, something to use for a few seconds of a dopamine rush, and then move on to the next thing. Like, there's been such a big desensitizing of intimacy, of relationships, of what that really is. Like, I had a buddy of mine who was dating a girl, had everything going for him. Everything going for him. He was going to go places in life. And this girl, he found out she was disrespecting him behind his back, gossiping about him to her female friends, talking about him very rude over text, and acting like she should be on some yacht with some guy, which, by the way, he was in his early to mid-20s at the time. Thinking that she's entitled to be one of these girls she probably saw in a music video or on some, again, fake reality social media post, which is not real life. People seem to not understand that. They're so caught up with this comparison. And you ask them, where are you seeing these people that are making you feel so insecure? I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, they're going to say it was on social media. And people don't seem to understand that's not real life. That's entertainment. That's not real life. And you'd think she would have been happy with this guy. He was loyal. He was caring. Found out she had a whole bunch of dudes that she was talking to on the side. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. I mean, it's cooked. And the worst part is, as a man, you want to get away from this kind of stuff. You want to unplug from this kind of stuff. But social media is all around us now. Like, even myself, around the time I graduated college with job applications, almost everything revolves around social media. I'm even seeing job applications where they're wanting you to link your Facebook account. Things like LinkedIn, Indeed, all this kind of stuff where you put your kind of credentials, just like social media apps, where a lot of the time people are lying or exaggerating about their credentials on there. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Like, even not that long ago, I got an email from a subscriber who was talking about something similar. But in the email he had mentioned, after I'd replied, he had mentioned that he wasn't expecting a reply. And look, I know what it's like to be rejected. I know what it's like to be dismissed, feel like you're not good enough, whatever it might be. But what that tells me is there's a lot of people that think they're not good enough because they see someone else with, whether it's a social media following, this or that. For someone to even speculate that, I wouldn't take the time out of my day to respond to their email, which, again, I don't always have time to check my email. I don't always have time for that. But when I do have time, I'll make time for it. I'll get back to the emails when I can, and I really try my hardest to. But that tells me this is someone that's been rejected in the past, probably emailing someone, following someone, not getting a follow back. And it's terrible how dismissive we are towards one another. Like, go to your local department store or grocery store. See how people are. See how people treat one another. See how people are so quick to act like you don't exist. And I understand people have bad days, but this is not normal. I see it time and time and time again. And I'm someone who used to work retail. I know exactly how it is. But it's far beyond that. The lack of care, the lack of respect towards people. Like I had a jiu-jitsu coach at a former gym I used to go to, which again, this is no knock on jiu-jitsu or the coach. I think it's important for every man to train or do some form of physical activity. But soon after joining the gym, I had followed the head coach on Instagram, and he knew I followed him. We would talk over DM all the time. And he never ended up following me back, which, quite frank, to me, I took it as disrespect. I took it as very offensive, to be honest with you. Maybe I shouldn't have, but to me, it's almost saying, I'm more important than you, and you want to follow me. You want to see what I'm doing because you got people posting freaking 10, 20 things on their story a day. Whether it's them cooking, whether it's them going for a walk, whether it's them going to the store and some shirt they tried on. They want the whole world to revolve around them. But what that's telling me is, I'm more important than you. I don't care about you. You're a peon to me. You're a peasant to me. You want to see what I'm doing. That's what that tells me. I mean, it's completely backwards. It's completely backwards. Go on a dating app nowadays. See how it is. If you want to waste your time, go on a dating app. Do it for experimental purposes. See how women behave on there. How they'll match with you, get the validation, get the text, wait for you to double text if you do that. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. They'll even be the ones to engage with you in the interaction. But if you respond to them, you're a creep, whatever it is. I've seen crazy stuff like that. I've seen girls literally give guys their phone number. And the guy will talk to him normally over text. And they'll just flip like a switch. And then they'll start wanting to slander the guy behind his back. Trying to say how he's creepy. It's like, meanwhile, you're the one who gave him your phone number. Do you not understand that? How is he the creep when you gave him your phone number? When you entertain the conversation to begin with. But this is how entitled and quite frankly delusional so many women have gotten. This is, again, why the dating market is where it's at. Why a lot of men are choosing to stay single and not being in relationships. Combine that with all the horror stories they see. You shouldn't want any part of it. I have a friend of mine a buddy of mine used to work at a pharmacy. He told me nonstop throughout the day, girls in their 20s buying psych meds. Nonstop. He said most of the clientele there were women in their 20s buying psych meds. That tells you that they're not happy doing this. They're doing that, quite frankly, because they are miserable. That's what people seem to understand. The people that do the most of that kind of stuff on social media, the story posts, all that kind of stuff, they are the most miserable deep down. You cannot have peace of mind if your happiness is dependent on others' validation. If it's dependent on other people giving you a like or a view or whatever you want to call it. Social media has ruined it for pretty much everyone. I'll be straightforward. That is the number one culprit. And we could argue about other stuff. We could talk about a perfect storm of everything perhaps. But social media to me is the number one reason why people have this kind of God complex. Number one reason why people don't have mutual respect for one another anymore. Like I said, having someone follow them. There's my validation. There's me being important. There's me being more important to them. Not following them back. Acting like you don't exist. Weirdest thing I've seen. This main character syndrome, it's the main culprit in all this. And I would even argue dating apps and social media, they go hand in hand. They're the same thing. They're the same thing, just a dopamine release. Just a form of women to get more and more deluded. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But don't forget that a lot of these men who feel rejected, a lot of these men who seemingly feel like they're on the outside, they're going to be the ones getting the last laugh. Because this is going to dry out eventually. Whether it's women getting older, whether it's women having to face the reality of life and things outside of that. Once that runs out, they're going to realize that they didn't have any peace of mind to begin with. It was just ways to mask their misery. That's what the validation was. That's what the dopamine release on the social media was. It was all meaningless at the end of the day. Anyway, guys, appreciate you viewing the video. Hope you guys have a good one.